happens here.
It's okay. Carry on about the moon, equipment on the moon.
Do you guys, do people believe that, like, you can actually see Neil Armstrong's footprint on the moon? Like, I could see the lander thing, like, if you believe that.
No, not the
I could see,
footprint.
like, you could see an
can't
object.
see the footprint from Earth.
From Earth.
The footprint
Completely
is
the
on
wrong
the
path.
moon. Went back to the moon, you would see Neil Armstrong's footprint, yeah?
I don't
I don't think that's what he's asking. He's asking, can you see it from like
No, not the Earth.
a telescope?
No.
Not a normal telescope from Walmart, like a good telescope.
I'm asking about the logic of his thinking. I'm not asking him about the moon.
Why the fuck would you expect to see
the moon was just there to prop it up.
Well, we don't know it. We're all here trying to figure out what the hell.
No. Don't get funny.
Well, nobody knows what the moon is.
I'm not being funny. I'm being deadly serious.
What he's really asking is, can you see where Neil Armstrong walked around on the moon from a telescope or from a something like that?
And the answer is no. As far
no,
as
the answer is yes. The answer is yes.
No, the answer is no, but you can't see.
No, the answer is yes.
No, it is yes.
It's yes.
No, it is yes. No, it is yes.
I have never seen a footprint. That would be
it's
like
in chat.
Cover of
it's in
Time
chat.
Magazine. Dude, that would be the cover of Time Magazine.
Yes.
No,
it's not.
Neil's footprint. They would have done that.
Angle of attack.
Are we talking about Neil Armstrong's footprint here?
Well, yeah, angle of attack is posted in the picture. I think which is from that Japanese satellite that went past.
You can see the tracks. Yeah, you can see the tracks left by the lunar rover.
Yeah,
you can see you can see the landing site.
Mm-hmm.
According to how many space agencies? You know what I mean?
It doesn't look very clear, to be honest.
Well, I mean, like a lot of people make the argument.
I mean, you claim that photograph's fake, yeah? You have to.
Well, I mean, okay, how about this? Rather than me saying that I know that that's true, what do you guys think about that whole argument? Because it would only take a few space agencies to collaborate to fake that imagery.
A lot of people,
but there's
thousands
multiple
of people.
pictures, Matt. There's multiple pictures. You can see multiple pictures.
I think the whole thing's too big to be faked.
Yeah, that's
if it was real,
they
would have. There's no reason why America would not have someone stationed on the moon. They would have somebody on the moon at all times.
So you're fucking sane now, was. That's great. It's the best news I've ever heard.
Are you, Jezza?
Can you see in that second photograph? You can see like the trails of people like walking across the moon.
Why would they leave the moon in the first place? I mean, you have astronauts in space for 2 years.
God, is that
a year and 2 years.
Chemo? You're not.
Wait, what did you say? They would? Why would they what in the first place?
Why would they leave the moon in the first place? Like
because they probably had to come back to Earth. You'd think.
Yeah, but why? When they've got, I don't think the same person. I mean, they would always have a man on the moon. Always.
Spurs. These questions have been thrown up and answered. And thrown up and answered so many times.
What's the answer? Why haven't they got a man on the moon permanently?
It's pointless you coming in with the same questions when ET's here.
No, it's not. I come in with completely different questions every time. And by the way,
ET, hang on, guys, hang on, people. I was talking to Chemo, ET, not you. Chemo's throwing up the same questions. I'm saying ET's new at this, and he's got some new, fresh questions.
Yeah,
from
why
his
wouldn't they
perspective,
have a man on the moon?
we don't need your questions, Spurs, when ET's here asking the questions.
Yeah, we want to know why there isn't a man on the moon.
Let us talk. Let us talk. He's talking. Let him talk.
Let ET ask the questions. I'm not answering you.
No, you didn't answer.
I'm not answering you. I'm not answering you.
ET answered, and he said that they would need to come back. I'm saying to ET, no, they don't need to come back. A different astronaut, just like the ISS, would have just exchanged over, and then they would have always someone permanently on the moon.
Chemo, let us talk.
You carry answers you don't believe, Spurs. You're not qualified to answer these things.
This is something to watch out for, ET, when you're listening to flat earthers' logic and they confuse questions for answers. They ask a weird, unanswerable question like, why did we leave the moon? And then when somebody's unable to answer that or unable to answer it quickly enough or in a way that sounds intuitive or believable, they will then propose their own answer like that's the only possible alternative. There are a million reasons why you would go to the moon and leave, or go and leave and not go back. There are countless reasons. Just because somebody's able to ask a question that's difficult to answer doesn't mean that their answer is correct.
No, just asking for your opinion on why you think they left.
Please carry on.
Why not 7, 8, 9, and just like the ISS, they would turn people back and forward on the ISS. Why not the moon?
Yes, that's right.
Great question. Go and answer it, and come back to us with some interesting information.
Please, ET.
The answer to that is
please, ET. Carry on with your question.
The moon landing was a
You're just going to make up the answer, though. I'd love some data.
To let ET speak. You're gonna let ET fucking speak?
Absolutely.
Wallaby, let him go.
Okay, thank you. And thank you for the space to talk. I just mean I don't really, given everything in the last 10 seconds or 10 minutes or 5 minutes. I just mean, what are we talking about now at this point?
The subject is yours, mate. The subject is yours.
The moon landing is what it is. If it was real, why we haven't been back?
Okay. I don't think the moon landings are necessarily happen, but I'm not the first person to question that, and so it wouldn't be very original for me to bring that up again.
Why do you think it didn't happen? That
Chemo, shut the fuck up and let ET get back on track on what he was talking about because you interrupted him. So shut.
I'm okay talking. I'm okay talking to him. That's fine with me. But I mean, the reason why I talk about him are probably a lot to do with the same points that a lot of other people have made. How number one, the first thing that always trips me out, it was how almost impossible it would have be for humans to have made that that journey in the 60s and what was it, 1969, I think. And I think given in that technology they used, they flew that shit in the air in a desert and it crashed. And then they sent it out into space anyway. That's just an example. It's
they were doing equally as impossible things back in the 1100s, 1500s when they were traversing
this is
vast
different,
oceans.
man. We were smart
with lesser technology.
60s.
Lots of their boats crashed and burned.
No, this is different because we were smart. We had defeated the Germans in World War II.
They were boat smart then too.
Yeah, but I mean, the point is that we knew what was going on, and then we weren't just sending people into space randomly.
No. It wasn't random. That's not correct. In 1969 was the first time people landed on the moon. Let's not forget the trips that people did. There was a trip that somebody did around the fucking moon.
Those are the early Apollo missions. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Of course.
Supposedly.
Right? There was a lot of. Okay. Supposedly.
Well, I don't know.
There was a lot of toe testing going on. Right. Let's see if the fucking water is hot or not. They fucking tested their technology as they could see, as that was what they could see fit at that time. And yes, they did land on the moon with really fucking basic what we consider now as basic technology.
Dude, how come the spacecraft
for them that was
in
really fucking
foil,
technologically fucking amazing.
What? Dude, look at this. We can't even go back. They say we don't have the technology.
Because it costs a lot of money. It's about money. It's the money.
We got billions.
Money.
Elon Musk is the richest man in the world right now, and he wants to go to Mars. Why don't you go to Mars?
Yeah, I think we're probably going to go. We're probably going to go back to the moon.
Oh, probably want to go. I've been hearing that for 10 years now.
It's
been 50 years now. It's 2021. That was 1969. That's 50 years ago now. Sure. Now look at this.
But also, we're not in the space race anymore, ET. We're not in the space race anymore.
What's the advantage, ET? What's the advantage for going to the moon? If we're accepting there is some cost to it.
Dude, if I was the richest man in the world, I would do it just to prove a point.
Why would we?
I would do it just to prove a point if I was the richest man in the world.
It's the same reason that they go to Antarctica. There's nothing down Antarctica, but yet there are bases and camps. People are down there doing nothing, but they waste millions of people, waste millions of money to send people down there.
How much
to
money
do what?
does it
There
cost
is
to
a
put
base
people
in
Antarctica?
Antarctica.
But what for? There's nothing down there.
There's
But just
several
ice.
bases in Antarctica.
It's totally because of underground military bases. Look them up.
It's just ice. Why would you set up?
It's not just ice, dude. There's like little cities down there.
Well,
Because we want to fucking discover. All right, I'll tell you one reason why. Wait, Kimo, you asked the question.
So
why would there be people
why would you have
Antarctica?
a military base on ice where there was nothing there? No threat.
Because it's warmer underground. If you go down a little bit, it's warmer, and they have all sorts of heating systems and shit. It's crazy.
There's a one very good reason to have an Antarctic base, and the one reason that we have right now, one reason that I've spoken to this person who goes out and discovers meteorites, right? Because it's the one good place where you can discover meteorites. Because meteorites are generally in the ground, right? You have to dig them up. But on the ice sheet of Antarctica, you can fucking discover them, right? You can fucking find them. They're very easy to find.
Right, you still haven't answered my question. Why send people to Antarctica and not the moon?
Why send somebody down to the shops when
because it doesn't cost as much money?
No, I think they're going. Well, if the moon, that brings us right back to our question, doesn't it? Originally,
why go to the moon? Does exist in supermarket?
Does it exist in space in the way they describe it, or not? Some people believe the moon is
but there's
way
nothing
closer.
on the moon, and there's nothing down Antarctica.
There is.
Hey man, on the moon. Antarctica definitely exists. I think.
Yeah, but
I don't know what
nothing down there but ice. On the moon is nothing up there but dust. Why the ice but not the dust?
You're wrong.
It's land. Correct. I don't know what it's made out of, but there's space, like not space like outer space, but like space like more land and material. You have that.
But that's not. They don't believe that though.
There's also
the borders why they would station people where there was nothing.
Well, I mean, if
your assertion there's nothing, it's like
wait. Can I ask a question to ET? What do you think? Can I ask you, ET? What do you think the moon is?
What do I think about? Sorry,
the moon. What do you think?
I know. We've been talking about it.
He already said he doesn't know.
I don't know, but I mean, I think it's really interesting. I don't necessarily believe it's a sphere out there in space, or whatever space is. That's another different question.
Is it a holographic projection?
I've often thought about that. If it's not, and it is like some kind of rock structure, a lot of people have talked about how it's like
but you don't,
and I don't know. I think that's possible too. I really don't know. I'm not here to try to provide people with false answers.
Do you think there's a firmament or a dome around the Earth?
I don't know. Maybe that's kind of why I'm here talking to you guys. I you know what? You guys can go over to Flat Earth Discord server and tell them what I think.
We're in that server right now.
No, you get banned from that other one if you don't agree with
Wow, no, that server's got a little weird, in my opinion. I'm kind of done dealing with those people, even though I like a lot of them. But
so you don't believe that there is a glass dome over.
Well, you guys are a lot more like inquisitive and talkable than it is over there these days. So, like, you guys are winning right now, to be honest.
The one thing I would say to you as well is...
Did you hear the question, though?
Oh, yeah, what was the question?
Yeah, I didn't think you did.
I heard the question about the moon and the Earth and everything.
No, it was about the firmament or a firmament.
Right.
Do you believe there is one?
I don't know. I'm not a Christian, so let's just be that. Let's just get that out of the way. I'm not a Christian, and I don't have any religious beliefs about the whole fucking thing. But I will say this: I don't think there's a firmament. No. To answer your question, and as far as I know, I think you can go out there. Yeah. If you're
you said you're not. You said you're not a flat earther, a globe skeptic.
No, I'm not a flat earther. No.
But a globe skeptic.
Man, I don't know what the fuck is going on out there, and I doubt you do either.
I just had
talking directly about.
I'm pretty sure I know what's not going on.
Yeah. Okay. What is that? What? Not how so much. What do you?
A big, huge lie.
Like what?
To cover everything up.
What
I don't
is
believe
that's
going on.
What's the lie?
What's the lie? And what's the truth of the lie? The truth behind the lie
is not a lie.
Well, what's the truth?
So if you ask spherical, me. We're talking a spherical globe. And,
of course.
Yes.
Okay. And nothing wrong with that, because I think the flat Earth thing is kind of a bit of a mind fuck that people fall into. But
and that's a bit of the question that Woz is getting at, that I would encourage you to think about, because there's going to be questions that flat earthers will ask that are like the answers to which that the globe offers are like really, really complex or counterintuitive. Just ask, is what they're offering on the other side simpler? Because what they offer typically is this giant conspiracy that lasts hundreds of years, that involves hiding from us what Antarctica is. And
doesn't make any real sense, because this thing just started recently.
Yeah,
I know.
Way more complex than
why is that complex and complicated?
Because there's many moving parts.
Thing to figure out. Why is it so hard?
There's so many people that have to keep the secret.
Many individuals.
What do you mean when you say so many people?
Like, I've tried to organize who's tried to organize a surprise party before?
Yeah, but they don't have.
Oh my god! Yeah, I've done that.
Everybody always works it out. Always, the birthday person knows before it is, and that's a conspiracy between like what 10, 15, maybe 30 well-meaning,
maybe 30 people.
Fuck off! You can do that for 100, 200 years.
I don't know, man. Look at 9/11, dude. Nobody
slipping up and leaving some documents for their wife.
Few people knew 9/11 was going to happen. They pulled that off.
Oh, come on.
I mean, let's focus on how they lie. I mean, you're saying that somebody would come out and talk. Who would they talk to?
Remember what I said, ET? They'll ask you a question, and then they'll show that your difficulty in answering the question proves that they're
okay. I will focus.
Yeah, but I'm asking what I'm trying to get at is if you're saying it's too many people. So I'm asking, let's say
it's improbable,
it was revealed. Who would they talk to? Who would they tell?
Okay, so if I were in that conspiracy, let me put myself in their shoes. I've studied physics through school. I found I had a bit of a knack for the maths, was interested in space travel, so I joined NASA. At some stage through my training at NASA, it becomes clear that this is a big con, and it's my job to propagate a con against the rest of the world. Who would I tell?
Yeah.
I would tell my partner, my family.
You'd probably tell your wife.
I would tell the Russians or any like sworn enemies of the state. I would tell the North Koreans. I would fucking tell anybody I could to get.
How would you write them a letter? Sing them a song? How would you tell them?
You're asking a different question now. This is what they do, ET. They will just ask you a series.
He's gonna fucking tell his wife, and his wife is gonna tell somebody else. First of all, I'm trying to figure out the steps.
So he's saying that
everybody. I would shout from the rooftops. I would gather evidence and shout it from the rooftops.
You would go to the rooftops and start shouting, "The Earth is flat! The Earth is flat!"
Yeah. I'd join this Discord and present the proof. Go, here's the telemetry. We just keep faking the telemetry, and you can tell because the following figures from these rocket launches all show that this couldn't. That rockets don't work in space.
That's not what you should do. What you should
do. Yeah, you do. You do sound like a madman that this has never happened.
No, how you've just described telling somebody if you found out the Earth was flat.
Where's your evidence that this cover-up exists?
You're like, I would go to different countries. I would tell the enemy. What enemy?
There's always evidence. There's always evidence, and this is true in murders too. Anytime there's a cover-up, the cover-up typically leaves behind more evidence than the murder itself. Quite often a pool of blood, small, but then when they try to wipe it up, they've just created a bigger pool of slightly thinner blood. Can we take one step at a time now? Towels to deal with,
going all over the place. I want to figure out who you would tell. You said you would go to the rooftops.
You tell the public.
The public. How? What would you do?
Go to the newspapers. Go to newspapers.
Would you go to Globe Light Tour?
NASA is a big lie.
So you go to the newspapers like what we did already. We went to the newspapers. We told them we've made a bet with globe earthers, but they won't accept
Why don't you do it the other way, Chemo? Why don't you propose how
what would you do different than what we've already done? We've been to the media, we've been on the radio, we've been on television.
Of people to propagate.
We've had conferences, we've had meetups.
When we can't keep a birthday
what would you do differently that we haven't done already?
Chemo, can I just say something really quick about what you're saying about the big lie? If this lie is so big as what's being claimed, is I wouldn't give two shits.
I hate that idea.
Yeah, but hang on. Big of a lie. Somebody would
hang on. Just hear me out. The lie's so big that I would be so protected that I could let the whole world know that the Earth is flat, because every news organization in the world would pay for my bodyguards. This guy's got fucking something. Absolutely. If he's got the evidence, I would shout it out to the world tomorrow.
In fact, Jazza,
Again,
you'd probably get $1 million in endorsements from all these news agencies.
I know.
And don't you reckon the greatest risk would be when you knew before you told them? Once you tell the world, you are now safe. But from the moment you have that secret to the moment you share it, your life is at risk. So
here's another fucking good example.
Compulsion to share it because you knew that once I handed it over to the newspapers, there was now no longer an incentive to kill me, and in fact a disincentive to kill me. Whereas if they knew
exactly.
So now you've just got real difficulty hiding this problem, Chemo.
No, but it doesn't matter. They don't have to hide it anymore because look at this. Look what's happening with the Pentagon and the UFO issue right now. The whole world knows they're about to reveal some kind of form of information about the UFOs. And everyone also knows that once that comes out, whatever the hell it is, no one's going to give a shit and the world's just going to go on like normal. So like now all of a sudden, so you got number one, you got full disclosure. Number two, you've got everyone knowing what the hell is actually going on.
Disinformation.
Hang on. Yeah.
Disinformation.
Yeah, I know. Hang on. But so you got those 2 points, and then number three, this was stage 3, you could call it. The first 2 points, and the stage 3 is people are just, I don't give a fuck. That's what's gonna happen. And then so it's like, and then they
people really do care about if they're a UFO. If they're, I don't care, dude, man. If they're a UFO in this world, people do care about that.
Well, not really, man. Most of the United States actually.
No,
dude,
of course they
people
do.
Don't actually care. They just believe. You can look at the statistics on the UFO believability over in the United States, and over 50% of people think the government is hiding something.
Totally different disinformation. It's different disinformation.
And it is disinformation, but can I just jump in here, just interject real quickly, because what I just said about that if I knew that the earth was flat, I would be completely safe in holding that secret and coming out to the public. The other thing is this UFO thing.
Hang on.
I
just want to say I brought it up for that exact purpose. Okay? People don't care.
They do care.
No, they do.
The two things are not compatible with one another. They are perpetrating and spending an extraordinary amount of money and effort to perpetrate a lie is not compatible with that people don't care. You've got to pick one. Either people don't care, so why would they bother lying about it, or people do care.
So people do care.
Okay, well, why would the government lie then? And I don't mean like why would they lie, but I mean like, okay, what does the government get from lying to everyone or telling them enough information for people to shut the fuck up?
That's a good question. Why would they lie about something that is so easy that any old Joe can walk out the back of his house, grab a telescope and prove it wrong? Why would they lie? Where's the profit and how do they lie? How do they stop all
I meant it in the UFO, in the style of the UFO thing. Why would they lie about that? Because that's way harder to prove. And I'm saying it has a lot to,
because
it's very similar.
Yeah, I agree.
Hang on.
They can easily lie about something that is a part of their program. All right, they have a program that is happening nowadays, right? So what they want to produce is like, here's some shaky cam of the Tic Tac, right? They even called it the Tic Tac UFO, right? This is something that's completely unbelievable, and then they have a voiceover going, have a look at that. Oh my God, how fast is it going? Don't know.
But that's not a voiceover, man. I believe that's a real video.
But
it could well be a real video. I mean, to suggest there's not UFOs is a silly position because it just means an unidentified flying object.
Well,
exactly.
A UFO literally means for decades. You'd have to be completely ignorant to not believe that at this point.
Well, it could be anything. It could be a bird. It could be a fucking unidentified.
If you still think they're birds or
test aircraft is something I could easily believe too.
Actually,
That's where I'm going.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. In 20 years of flying, I've seen. I'm not going to say 50 things. I'm going to say I've seen three things that I cannot explain still to this day.
Sure.
Now,
UFOs in one night. So
no, I've seen them over 20 years. 3 things.
no,
Okay.
I've seen 7 in one night. Like UFOs are objectively a real thing. So.
Yeah. So,
Well, of course they are, but we're talking about unidentified flying objects.
Explainable flying objects.
Explainable flying objects
Exactly.
are a different thing.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is, in terms of if the Earth was flat and it was known and it was a huge lie, I'd be completely safe. If UFOs were the same and all these people were coming out and saying it, it's kind of the same, but it's kind of half different.
Wait. What? If the Earth was flat, you'd be completely safe. What do you mean by that? Like, what is the difference?
I think
Share
he's
the,
talking
if you share
about
the
how,
information,
like, if we
sharing it.
were-
with
Wait.
Like,
The reality
Avatar
of the
WITSIT.
people.
Nice.
You said that you experienced 3 things in your lifetime as a pilot that were completely unexplainable.
I've seen 3 things in 20 years that I can still not explain. However,
Describe one.
one
Yeah,
was
let him make his point first.
And first
about
of all,
what?
how
The
high were
UFO
you?
or
He
the
said 3
What height
points,
were you,
3
Jazza?
things.
What was
And-
the height?
about the UFO or the?
No, you were at what height?
I was on the ground.
Oh, okay. I thought you were flying. Okay, go on.
I just want to
Finish the
that
point.
if the Earth is flat, then you would be safe. What does that mean? What's the difference?
What I'm saying is that if the Earth was flat, that so many people would have to know that if I was keeping the secret, I would be completely safe by going to the media and telling them about it because they would save me.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What? The media would never let you get on there and talk about how the Earth.
They would have.
I would.
Hang on. If the Earth was flat, if the Earth was flat and I could prove it, there would be more fucking security guards around me than the fucking royal family.
Let's keep in mind that the Pentagon has that UFO release coming up this month.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter. They've already come out and
hang on.
for decades, so who cares?
Hang on. And this is where the story goes to the next level. Is that anyone can say what the fuck they want. Freedom of speech. All you guys preach about it.
Freedom of speech is dead.
Okay. So here's the next thing. In the next 2 years, if the flat Earth is still going, I've got a project that I've been working on for 5 years now, and you guys will take it hook, line, and sinker.
Bambi.
Oh, really?
Oh, I hope so, but no, not. It's a.
You're gonna write a book?
No, it's a document that I will publish on the internet, and you guys will take it hook, line, and sinker, and go, "Oh my God, there's land outside Antarctica." I guarantee you.
But that's been already.
Dude, here's the deal, guys. You guys got to realize this: that the UFOs, okay, the government says that they can't explain their maneuverability, which is obviously a lie because the Germans did this in the 30s, dude. All you have to do is electromagnetic.
No, they
Listen,
didn't.
calm down.
Is that
All
you?
you have to do is use
That's
electromagnetic.
Shit.
No.
I've
been studying this
that you
my
which
entire
doesn't
life,
get
and I
shit?
think it might be true.
They're absolutely
Okay,
wasted.
wait, calm down.
Wasted.
All right.
You talking about
Yeah,
the
so they
bell?
utilize
Like the bell
electromagnetism.
that went through
Yeah,
time
that was
and
one.
space?
That was one of many. They had like 30 designs. Okay, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Okay,
WITSIT.
civilizations. You guys always interrupt. You guys are awful.
Doesn't get shit.
No, that's
You will be the
wrong.
first
WITSIT
one to
does
take
have
it.
a pretty tough time in here. Nobody lets him get half a sentence out. Even people let Chemo speak more than WITSIT.
Yeah, let him fucking.
You know,
Jesus Christ.
sorry, eggs. You're right.
At the moment, nobody's letting anybody talk, are they?
They're absolutely wasted.
Gem's
That's
here.
why you've got Ninja, you've got Jazza.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Ninja is the main culprit, followed up by Jazza.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Jack.
well, you can even actually see
I'll
Agent.
leave.
You don't have
Agents-
to leave. All you have to do is not talk when other people are talking. It's not.
Well, I don't think I can. I don't think I can do that, Jam.
No, I think that's true.
At least he's being
I'm
real.
pretty sure I can't do that. So
Ninja, just use push to talk, mate. That way your brain and mouth.
I'm not going to do that.
Your brain and mouth can have the disconnect, but it's going to require your thumb.
I will give like WITSIT some credit though. Like I've actually been doing some research on the UFO thing with Germany and like the Nazis and the German thing going down to Antarctica. I used to think that was kind of crazy talk, and the more research I do about it, the more like sensical it actually seems, and like I believe it more now than ever. I don't know.
Yeah, let me specify. Okay, so there's a story about how there's this deathbed diary confession of Admiral Byrd and how they saw UFOs and they had Nazi symbols and stuff, and then he went and got taken down underground and saw giant beings. Like I don't buy all that, bro. That dude was a high level Mason. That means nothing to me. I just know that scientifically you can explain that you could have a UFO, and we still use propulsion, right? And for me that's just archaic. If you look at ancient civilizations depictions, even they show you what we would call UFOs. So I think the ability to fly like this isn't that big of a deal, right? The question is actually, what are they? Where do they come from? Like, who has this technology? And the government, I want to let you guys know, the government will not tell you the truth about them. And if you guys think the government's going to lie to you about them, they've now said that they've been seeing UFOs for over 40 years. That's what they said this month.
70.
So,
for 70s. Sorry. Go on with.
You're good. I'm just saying that they're not going to tell you the truth. Like, if the government has lied to you for 40 years, you don't just blindly believe what they come out and say about it, right? Because they've been lying for 40 years.
Yeah. Do you trust somebody who's lied to you for 4 decades? It's like, imagine if you knew somebody who lied to you for 4 decades, would you ever start believing what they say?
No, I saw 7 in one night. They were all going north. They were all going north, bro. Like, so it's like they have a fleet. It's really wild. It's not like, oh, this just looks like a UFO, but it's just a bird or whatever someone was saying. Like, nah, bro, there's fleets of flying craft that are more advanced than an airplane. It's not even.
Yeah, whoever the hell said that could have been a bird. Like, dude, you don't know what the fuck you're even talking about. Like,
or do you just trust someone that someone tells you that they've been lying to you for 4 decades?
No, I would never trust them.
Those alien.
Oh, clearly they have been lying because they've always denied these things, right? So they've definitely been lying. There's no doubt about that. That's
so weird.
What I will say about what I'll say about the Nazi thing is that I watched a video on this actually only last week, and I guess the main point they raised was there just isn't any evidence to support this Nazi bell idea, and the thing we know about the Nazis is they were meticulous record keepers, and we would expect to find, we found all sorts of other stuff about secret projects that they had records of, but there's just nothing that relates to this.
From my understanding, there are some records of it, but what it requires is you have to blindly believe the Nazis are telling the truth. They were also notorious for propaganda and like saying that they were more advanced than they really were. So the argument is that they recorded
their propaganda as well. They kept.
Well, there is documents. There's documents of the bell, and like there's 5 or 6 different designs that they.
Well, let's see them.
All right, I'll have to find them.
Yeah, I'd love to see the documents about
because the video I watched was by a World War II historian, Dr. Mark Belton, and
yes,
he says there are no documents. So I think
that is patently false.
I read.
Let's see the documents. Let's see them then.
Yeah,
I spent my whole life. I've been researching UFOs my whole life, thinking that the German aspect of it was false, and I'm recently starting to come around to realize that it's not, because I was blind in one area, which was my ignorance of history in World War II, and it turns out that the Russians and the Germans during World War II were a hell of a lot more gnarly than they put them out to be, and everyone likes to talk about the Holocaust and everything like that. I'm talking about how the Germans travel down to Antarctica, like WITSIT was just saying. That's a very real thing. And I learned a lot of things in the last week that I didn't know about. And, dude, I don't know about the Nazi bell, but people talk about underground military bases and stuff. They call them dumbs and whatnot. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know.
Like, there's one of the documents from the CIA talking about seeing flying saucers in Eastern Germany. I have pretty bad service, so I'm trying to get to this other one. But there is, in fact, German documentation. They claim to have been working on, electrographic propulsion devices, what we would call UFOs, and that they tried numerous designs, and they would get up at high speeds and stuff, but then they'd end up crashing, or they wouldn't be able to change direction effectively, and then they'd change the design. So that's what they say. I mean, I don't blindly believe the Nazis, bro. But I've just seen them in my own sky before, so I know this exists.
Right.
And they've been lying for decades about it.
And which, in addition to that, they have like the patents and everything. Those are going to be proven. And also, everyone knows about at this point. Everyone knows about Operation Paperclip. So it's not like they didn't bring the Nazis over to the United States, and then who knows what the hell they did. With
how do you get from that to the Nazis made UFOs? I mean, they brought them over to get their rocket technology.
No, that's a jump, and you have like Tesla
what you're saying is they knew the Nazis had this extra technology, but they only bothered to publicly develop the rocket technology.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that
that would have to be true.
Of World War II. No, what I'm saying is that as far as I understand it, call me naive, but I'm just going to say it anyway. As far as I understand it, okay, fine. The World War II was not described as the way as we were told in our history books. The Nazis, a lot of them got away, hence Operation Paperclip was part of that. There's probably different operations too, and a lot of them went just like rogue, in my opinion, and went down to like South America, and then like Argentina, and then Antarctica. Ultimately, in my opinion, like 50 years ago or something like that.
Do you have any evidence to support this opinion?
Man, have you watched any videos about this kind of subject matter?
Well, it depends what we're talking about. Was there a escape route to South America for
I don't know how
Nazis?
They got to South America.
Yes,
yeah, there's a lot of information.
That bit's true. Of course, that bit's true. It's documented. It's well known. We know about
Perfect.
But,
so we know.
Hang on, still talking. But you just tagged on this bit about Antarctica simply because South America is to the south. And apparently, all the logic you offered was they just kept going south.
No, that's not my logic. My logic is my research.
What's your logic then? Where does the Antarctica bit come from then?
Well, the Germans have a history of going down to Antarctica. Same with the America going. If you Admiral Byrd's journey down south, and supposedly I don't know for a fact, but the Germans beat them down to Antarctica. If you look at it, man, both of the countries. This is like an untold story of World War II, post World War II. They both went down to Antarctica, man. Just look it up. I couldn't believe it when I saw these crazy videos over the last few weeks.
Post World War II, they didn't. That's not an untold story.
Well, during, like, it was post the supposed death of Hitler. I mean, I think a lot of people think that Hitler got away.
Okay, what's your evidence that this had happened? That Hitler died, and the Nazis, after Hitler's death, had an expedition to Antarctica.
They did. The Germans were...
Okay, where's the evidence? Because this is made up shit.
I don't know about that, buddy. I'm going to say...
Do you have any evidence for this at all? Because it's just literally...
Well, I'm not like an expert, but I saw some crazy...
You don't have to be an expert. You just have to be able... Why do you believe this is true?
Okay, let's be honest. I'll be honest with you. I just saw some videos online, and don't be like, "Oh, you saw an internet video." But I saw some videos online that like truly convinced me that, like, maybe that I think the history of World War II didn't actually go down the way I was taught in school. So that's what I'm saying.
Brilliant.
And it's pretty crazy, man. Because I didn't know about Admiral Byrd. They never told you about that shit in high school, did they? That's a part of American history. What the hell else don't we know?
You think there was a conscious effort to keep Admiral Byrd secret?
Probably.
Or do you think it was just irrelevant to high school students?
I do believe it. No, I do think it was consciously made a secret. They didn't want, because if you watch those old videos about Admiral Byrd talking, he's talking about
the videos of him on national TV.
Yeah,
those videos.
The interviews of him actually talking about
they did a bad job hiding those, didn't they?
They don't want people learning about the fact that there's like some crazy shit going down.
So that's why videos of him on national TV talking about it are available to the public, is it?
Oh yeah.
So they don't want it. They don't want the public to know about it. So they stuck him on
they couldn't take it down.
So they stuck him on national TV and then made sure they're recording. Shut up! And then made sure that a recording from the 50s was available to people living in 2021.
No, they tried to depress that video so that it wasn't seen by too many.
Well, they've done a very bad job, haven't they? Because it's on fucking YouTube loads of times.
That's why you got to believe, man, that we still have a chance here in sharing the truth. Because if you just believe that if you go down that mindset, like people do that with Alex Jones all the time, they're like, yeah, he's too popular now. He must be CIA. Like, come on, man. If you're gonna go down that mindset,
Alex Jones is Mossad, so get over it.
Look, I'm not arguing. I'm not arguing the conspiracy, am I? I'm just arguing your idea that they tried to keep Admiral Byrd's secret from high school children.
No, I think
clearly that's bollocks.
I don't think they did that the whole time. Then I'm just saying. I don't actually think there was a big thing around it at all. I just think nobody really cared about Admiral Byrd. He died a long time ago, way before the internet was popularized. And by the time the internet was somewhat popular, he kind of grew some popularity, but still it didn't really change anything for anyone. And so it just sits there on the internet. And, yeah, that's
Okay. I'm not even going to give a fucking... the link to it. Just look up the New Zealand Antarctic program, and there's about fucking 75 jobs that you could go and do that they will fly you to Antarctica to do from anywhere in the world, to be a chef, to be a fucking caretaker, to be fucking anything. Look it up. New Zealand Antarctic program.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
They will fly you there. They will fly you there.
What's your point?
I'm not saying to you, I'm saying to the flat earthers, I'm saying you can go to Antarctica and they will pay you to go there. They will pay for your flights.
I think we've got the point. There are jobs in Antarctica and they provide transport. We got that, Jazza.
I don't think
so. Wait,
I don't think the flat earthers do that.
Hey, Jazz, do you still believe in the moon landing?
Of course they fucking landed on the moon. Jesus Christ.
Here's my question. Is it possible that they faked the moon landing?
WITSIT? I love talking to you, man. I talk to you in like many months, but like, are we in the same camp, you and I, WITSIT? And then you continue conversation.
I don't know. If you think the Earth's a spinning ball that defies physics, and coincidentally every single country got together and said we couldn't go explore if that was true or not, and coincidentally 666 is all over it, and coincidentally we falsified the radius to know or not.
Holy fuck, that's awesome. Okay, you guys go on. I love you, WITSIT. Go on, guys.
Yeah. Okay, is it possible? I'm just seeing how honest you are. Is it possible? Is it possible that they faked it?
WITSIT doesn't get it. It would have been easier to go to the moon and land on it than it would have been to fake it.
Oh, so all you know how to do is regurgitate Neil deGrasse Tyson's subjective comments?
No. Just from my own observations, I can look at the horizon and look at the stars and go, oh, fuck, they're going around us. The sun doesn't change its angular size.
That's when I joined this conversation. I was asking you guys, why can't I see the sun and the moon right in front of me both at the same time when one of them in the moon?
I asked you a simple question, dude.
Exactly, and I'm answering you.
They could have faked it, yes or no?
Of course it's possible, but it's impossible on what we observe here on Earth, unless you're a fucking retard. I'm sorry.
No, you don't have to say retard, but at least you admitted it's possible.
Of course it's possible. Anything's possible. But if we observe what we observe...
War,
hang on, what's it? The sun doesn't get smaller and go away. It goes below the horizon.
And the moon? Why does the moon?
So does the moon.
It doesn't make sense because they don't seem to correlate.
It's not science and rockets, WITSIT. Holy shitballs, man.
WITSIT's a pretty sharp dude, actually, man.
No, WITSIT's very sharp, just on the blunt end of the fucking picnic basket.
Whatever the fuck that means. But okay.
I think none of us know. The chisel. I think it was in Australian.
No, that's Kiwi.
Yeah, no, I'm Kiwi. Yeah, no, definitely Kiwi, mate.
You think they'll let
Not Australian
helicopter in Australia? Come on, they have rules there.
Point is, how come last summer I saw the sun and the moon right in front of me at the same time, and the moon had a big shadow?
And that's the other thing, because the moon is far away and the sun's even further away.
That doesn't make any sense. What's causing the shadow?
However, your microphone is very close, mate. If you could back off from it, it would be.
Sorry. Okay. Is that better? It's not science and rockets. It's not science and rockets.
Look at the angle that we're at.
I don't know what can cause the shadow.
That'll answer your question, E.T.
What? Sorry, excuse me?
So look at the angle we have to the moon from the elliptical plane, and then look at the angle we have to the sun.
What causes the shadow, though? I don't understand. Okay, I know what basic astronomy and whatnot, right? And the Earth and the moon and the sun. So the moon and the sun are both in front of me. What? Why does the moon have a shadow on it?
The moon phases have nothing to do with the shape of the Earth.
You only see a full moon when they're both in the sky at the same time, or pretty much to a full moon.
I could be wrong about it, everything I'm saying. It's funny when people can't answer the questions properly.
Well, no, you're right. I mean,
you just answered the question.
One second, Jazz. I mean, you're basically saying, why is the moon in sunlight when the sun's above us? Yeah,
that's basically what I'm saying. Yeah, because you'd think it'd be completely full, right?
And that's why I said what you want to look at is you want to look at the elliptical plane, and then you want to look at the differential angle between the moon and our relationship, and the sun and our relationship.
This is how I interpret the relationship between the moon and the sun.
Then
they're both in front of me.
And then you should probably spend some time looking into how you reached adulthood without understanding moon phases.
How the hell is it possible that there could be a shadow on the moon when I can see the shadow, I can see the moon and the sun right in front of me? How the hell is that possible?
It's just been explained to you, and I've given you even what.
That was a bullshit answer. Can you describe? Okay, how about this? Okay, fine. I don't get it. Explain it to me like I'm 5 years old. How about that?
Okay, I'll explain it to you 5 years old.
Why don't you just look for a video on YouTube of it where there's plenty of animation
videos about this shit. And there's always some kind of weird fucking.
There's a nice little animation that'll show you how it works. It's very.
How about you just explain it with your words, which is why I'm
because you've reached adulthood and not understood this dude. You know, it really isn't somebody else's. It really isn't somebody else's responsibility to get you. Shut up! To get you to understand a really basic thing, and the fact that you don't understand it, I've got to tell you, you cannot draw any conclusions from that. I'm sorry.
Instead of yelling as an adult yourself, can't you explain it?
I'm sorry. Well, what's the point? You're an adult who doesn't understand this. You've been given an explanation already. Your response to it was, that's a bullshit explanation. I told you to go to YouTube. You don't want to. This isn't something that you just don't understand. This is something that you willfully do not want to understand. And I'm not going to try and beat an understanding into you of something that is very simple, and you are perfectly capable of understanding if you make a modicum of effort.
Pretend there's a child listening to this conversation.
No, you're not going to get me to. You're not going to get me to play. You're not going to get me to play the stupid game with you, dude. You should be ashamed.
No, you're making me play the stupid game right now.
You should be ashamed.
I should be ashamed of myself. No,
you should be ashamed that. Let me finish.
Let
me finish. You should be ashamed that you're here in front of 60 people going, I don't understand moon phases. It's a mystery to me. That is shameful.
Fine. I'm not here.
TT, and to help you out, because we're nice people here, I've even put a kid-friendly link into the chat explaining it as if you were a 9-year-old.
Okay, I'll look into that in the next 10 minutes. Thank you.
My pleasure.
I appreciate that. See?
Get
No, that's the kind of thing we need here. If we're going to figure things out, we don't need to scream at people and be like, you know...
Dude, you've just been given an explanation for a 9-year-old. Don't you think people should be screaming at you in that circumstance?
I'm glad.
I'm
actually glad that foolish that you put that in there. That you put that diagram in there for a 9-year-old to understand.
Perfect.
All you flat earthers, get in there and fucking hook into it.
Hey man, you guys think, you guys, it's like an us against them kind of mentality here. And man, all you did by posting that picture to prove me wrong, that a 9-year-old can understand supposedly, you just helped me because you just told people who are doing whatever they're doing in their research projects, you just help them understand more things. Whether or not they agree with you is a different thing. But
ET, are you paranoid as fuck?
How so?
Are you paranoid as fuck that every motherfucking person around you is lying to you?
No, not at all. I like you guys. That's why I wouldn't be in this room if I didn't like you guys.
ET, just again, I gave you the adult explanation of what they're explaining to you there. Because it's much shorter, and generally I would assume that you would have some of the same foundations.
I just wanted it explained to me in words because I spend too much time on my computer, and I hate how
you didn't understand me.
Well, do we have to do this? Do we have to do this again?
So, do you know what the plane of the elliptic is?
Oh my god, we are doing it again? Okay, hold on. One second.
ET, no one should have to do this again. It's not science and rockets.
Fine. I guess we won't do it again then.
Yeah.
You know what? You think we could break it down, but no, if you want to, I could probably...
ET, I broke it down in a way that I think everybody in here who's at least cursory looked into the topic.
Okay, can you forgive me? Can we... Okay, what do you think about the idea of me doing it one more time with you, like mentally, and then like if I collapse mentally, you just tell me. And if I don't get what you're saying, I'll let you know.
I've now posted a resource for you to go and read.
No,
so
I don't. The reason I go to Discord is because to get off of my computer.
Sorry, just going to have to put you on quiet. Sorry. So the reason I put that in there is so I don't have to read it out loud because that's boring for everybody else. And then when you read it, we're on the same foundation. You've got an idea of where I'm coming from, and then we've got some commonality, and I won't have to explain every single fucking word.
That's interesting. Later, bro.